Hi there, this is Heidi Joy Trethewey with the OpenStack Foundation, and I'm here with my colleague Todd Morey to talk a little bit about the OpenStack Project logos and mascots. My role in this project is to work with project teams directly to help them come up with the mascot that they love.
And my role in the project is to work with some very talented professional illustration resources that can help take these mascots and really bring them to life.
So we wanted to show you what the existing OpenStack projects look like. There's a little more than a dozen projects that currently have logos.
Yeah, so there's these that have logos. There are many that don't. And the project really has two goals. One you can see from the slide is that when we show all the logos together, we're working to build in a bit of consistency, still keep them unique, fun, and individual, but a bit of consistency so they look like a family of related projects. Secondly, the goal is to see if you ever saw one alone in the wild. The hope is that you could almost immediately identify it as an OpenStack project.
Yeah, and from a branding perspective, we're definitely concerned that when you show something visually that doesn't look like it's connected, then the either overt or subliminal message is going to be that these projects aren't very well connected. And we really want to present OpenStack as a cohesive platform that works together really well. And so that's one of the ways we're hoping that the visuals will work together really well. But also, and really the top reason that we're doing this project is because we are trying to help better spotlight projects. Tell us what that looks like, Todd.
So we're really working on some neat new resources, across everything from web to print to in presentations, where we can highlight the different projects and talk about what makes each one unique and how it relates to the others. But obviously for the projects that don't have logos, we've definitely been reaching for visual identity. One of the goals of this project is to create marks that can work across all of those applications so that they can be widely used.
And some of the feedback we're getting from the PTLs that we've reached out to is that they're really excited to be able to work on this kind of a project because they didn't have design resources on their teams. And so they're eager to use this. Also, we really want to focus on having some quality and flexibility to the logos so that we can have high resolution versions that are able to print stickers or t-shirts or that you can use in your presentations as soon as the Barcelona Summit. So let's talk a little bit about how we can help you. The first step is really for your team to pick a mascot. There are about maybe a handful of projects that already have mascots existing in their existing logos, but we're hoping that you'll pick an animal or something from the natural world.
And so once each team has selected a logo, that's where the illustration resources come in to really bring it to life. As you can imagine, this is sort of a dream job for an illustrator. So we have access to some really cool professionals who are going to help us along the way and create logos that definitely have some fun and personality to them, but use simple line work to create these kind of iconic marks that, like Heidi said, you can use just about anywhere.
So tell us more about what that looks like, Todd.
So here's some sample artwork. Keep in mind this is not the final illustration style, but it gives you a good overview of what we're trying to create. So we're trying to create a word mark. In this case, we made up a fictitious OpenStack project called Cortex, and the fictional Cortex team chose an elephant to represent them. And so you can see there's the application there that has the elephant along with the word mark. There's the word mark just by itself, which might be more appropriate for like a PDF, all the way through, to the artwork appearing on a shirt. Each team would, of course, have the name prominently and consistently displayed with the OpenStack community project below it, and then their unique, mascot sitting above.
And one of the things I like and that I'm encouraging project teams to do is we imagine that Cortex was a project about memory or storage. And since the adage goes, an elephant never forgets, it seemed like the project's qualities and benefits kind of connected to some element of the personality of the animal. And so we liked that option. So let's talk about what you can and can't choose, maybe some of the boundaries around choosing your mascot. Do you want to go first, Todd?
Yeah, so we tried to pick a category that was broad enough with enough options, but then of course had elements in the category that were sort of universally familiar worldwide. And so we essentially, succinctly put, we chose nature. So of course that includes everything from animals, birds, fish, insects, plants to natural features like a canyon or a mountain.
And the things that we excluded, imaginary creatures, specific places, mascots that are already used by the ecosystem companies, because as a community project, we don't want to include in a mascot something that is really referential only to one company. We also ask you to leave out mascots that are already used by other projects and human or human-made objects or structures. So here are some examples of what works and what doesn't. For example, if your team chose a squirrel, but another project already had a chipmunk in use, we would feel like that was too visually similar, and so we'd suggest picking something else. But for example, Sousa uses a chameleon in a lot of their branding. While a gecko would probably be too visually similar, something else that's a lizard, maybe like a Komodo dragon, would totally work.
Yeah,
you want to talk about some of the others?
Sure. For an example of what works is a mountain. An example of what doesn't work is Mount Fuji, like a celebrity representation, just because it's too specific.
And also, we would exclude bridges or like landmarks that are human-made, but you could certainly use a kind of a landmark that is natural, like a natural rock causeway, and also excluding people or even parts of people like a hand.
Right.
So here's how you can find out more. We basically built out a web page using FAQs, many of which we got directly from your PTLs. So that's pretty extensive on the web page, and you can also, you're very welcome to email me directly, and I'll be happy to answer questions, help your team even do some brainstorming, as I've done with a couple of teams. We've had a lot of fun with that. So here's what we suggest for your next steps. The first one, of course, is to connect with your project team and come up with a list of a few mascots, maybe 3 or 4 mascots that your team really likes. But before you vote on them to choose your one mascot, we ask that you send me the list. I can help you avoid duplicates or avoid things that are out of bounds according to the rules that we set out. And then we'll start confirming those candidates as soon as July 27th. We put that date out there to give you enough time that your team has time to get together and chat about it. Then once your candidates are confirmed, your team can vote on it, and you'll send your final choice to me. And then we'll also be posting the mascots as they are confirmed to this web page that we just showed you, so that you can kind of check and see, Forrest or an owl already has been chosen. I need to go look at something else.
We're very excited about this project. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope you guys are as well. Thanks for hearing us out.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Bye.